Saturday was a pretty interesting day. The sections were pretty easy, besides a couple here and there that had some tricky spots, but there ended up being 2 sections thrown out, which has never happened in an event before for me. The first one, a rock ended up falling down, a pretty big rock, and changed the section completely, so they ended up just scrapping that one. And that was one of the better sections too, so that was a bit of a bummer. And then a rider got injured on another section, which was really hard to see. Hopefully he's all right. It was a bit hard to stay focused and motivated after that, but I ended up just having 2 dabs on the last 2 sections of the entire day, so I was a little bit bummed to end it that way, but overall got to be happy with my riding throughout the day, and did have some fun, even though it gets a little bit stressful when you're on a clean day right up to the end, and the dabs were really pretty lame, so I was a bit bummed on those, just turning on the flat ground, and just lost my focus for a second and took some points, so overall good day.
Saturday was a really good day for me. I had a lot of fun on Saturday, but started out really shaky on my first loop. Had a lot of fives I didn't need, and that just seems to be the story of every national so far. But I was pretty close to Karl Davis, and then ended up getting ahead of him by 1 point after the second loop, and so I was beating him going to the third loop. But third loop, 5 number 1 started it off bad, and then I got to section 2 and had a flat tire. And so it's so hot out here, having to pump up a flat tire and then plug it just sucked out on the loop. So that got me tired, and then rode the next couple sections, got section 4, got all the way to the end, and I fired it just at the end on a little tiny rock, and so that really hurt, and I was up to 10 points. I was getting frustrated because I was losing my edge on Karl, and then go on a couple more sections, I got a couple more 5s, and at the end of the day, got to section 12, and had another flat tire. Then I got 5 on 12, and so it really turned into a bummer, but ended up losing Karl by 10 points, and he had 2 5s and a 1, I had 4 5s and a 1, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but I had a lot of fun.
Saturday was pretty good for me. I ended up with a first place, but on the sections were really easy, and it was really easy to make a mistake. Unfortunately, on my first loop, a stick got caught in between my sprocket and my chain, and it popped my chain right off in the middle of the section. I had to take a 5 for that one, but other than that, I just made a few mistakes here and there, but they weren't very costly, and ended up with a win.
Saturday started off really positive. I felt like I was doing really well on the bike, and I turned in a really great loop. And coming into the second loop, I made a couple mistakes where I previously hadn't, and it ended up giving me too many points. I ended up with a 12-point loop where I previously had a 4. And that set me back real far, and I got my composure, put it all together, and ended with another 4-point loop.
Saturday was a really good day for me. I started off a little shaky, but after that I really managed to pull through and get a win. I'm really happy with my riding and how my bike performed, and overall it was a good day.
The sections on Sunday were a little bit better. They were a little bit harder with a few more tricky spots, and there was pretty much something in each section you really had to work for, so they were better, but still on the easy side. I ended up taking 1 point in section 7 on the first loop. Just didn't quite hit the mark I needed to with the point of a rock after a splatter, and got offline and took a point there, but other than that I stayed clean, and really got to give it up to the team for providing me such an awesome bike. The factory Sherco is just working amazing this year. Maximum Oils kept the clutch working really well even in these extreme temperatures. This is probably the hottest national I've ever ridden, so I was happy with my performance of my body and my bike, and yeah, it just makes my job easy when the bike is working so well. We have a couple month break in the schedule before going to California in September, and I know a few things I have to work on. I know the other guys are going to go practice hard to try to bridge that gap, and I'll be pushing myself to try to be riding better than ever.
Again, Sunday, Started out bad on my first loop. My scores ended up being 22, 16, 7 points. And so I knocked off a marker and I hit a tree going up a big hill climb. Gave me a couple fives that I really didn't need, and really easy sections that are cleanable. And then come my second loop, I started riding better, and I was real close to Daniel. I beat his second loop by 2 points, but he had a killer loop just like me. On our third loops, I had 7 points, he had 5, and so that put me in 4th place again. It was a lot of fun though, my third loop. Jeez, it was so hot out here, and everyone was just dying of heat, except for Pat apparently, because he can just clean everything. But we were dying, and I was really proud of myself to be able to, pull off such a great loop, even though I was so tired and so exhausted. But I had some really good rides and had a lot of fun here in Arkansas.
Sunday started off really positive again. I had a really great start and a really good loop, and I put in a pretty good 6-point loop for my first loop throughout the day. And then I knew there were places where I could improve, and I put it all together, and I got a 1-point loop on my second loop, and I got all the kinks out for my third loop and ended with a clean loop, and I'm really happy with that for a 7-point day.
Sunday was a pretty rough day for me. It wasn't the results I was looking for. I ended up second behind Alex. Alex rode really good. I wasn't on top of my game. I felt really shaky on the first loop. I had 2 5s because my bike was stalled, or I stalled my bike, and it really cost me a lot. And I just continued to make mistakes here and there, and it eventually led up to me, but I was able to secure a second, and now we're going into Donner. And I just want to give a big thanks to all my sponsors, and yeah, and oh, one more person. Big thanks to my aunt for getting me the hammer stuff. Thank you to her. She was able to give me a win, so thank you.
Sunday was even better for me. I started off with a really strong 13-point first loop, and then after that I kept all my loop scores under 20 and ended up getting another win. And overall I couldn't ask more from RYP and my bike, and my minder is working perfect and everything's going to plan. I'm really happy with how I rode too.
First place, Will Myers. Second place, Josh Roper. First place, Alexander Myers. On the lead is Pat Smage, first place.